Hello there everyone, and here we are with a worker swordfish. Now, these are pretty old now, right? I mean, it's definitely been like over 4 years, 5 years since this blaster even came out, and the shell of it came out. You had to do your own interior. So, back on the channel, I bought one of these. Now, this is not it. This is not the worker swordfish that I purchased. This is the worker swordfish that I purchased. Now, why do I have two? You already had one. It's a really great question. So, I wanted to turn this into a semi-auto blaster. How it came? Why not? But I did purchase a full auto kit way back when I originally purchased this swordfish. Now, I had a lot of other things going on at the time, moving 1, 2, 3, 4 times? 3 times? I don't even know at this point. So, things kind of got misplaced and lost. Now, this swordfish, obviously, it's supposed to have an adapter here, which turns it into being, single handle, to having the closed handle for the Chris Vector kit. Like this. So you can see the handles are different. And that's just because of this little piece right here. Now, you would think that's really no big deal when you want to install a Chris Vector kit, but you have to have this point to lock everything in. And I had lost that. Didn't know where it went. And you can't just buy that, you can't just print that. Trust me, I tried. So, I had to find a whole new swordfish. Now, actually, I'm glad I did, because as I was looking through my bins, when this swordfish was on order, it was too late to return it, I found this adapter and my full auto kit. So obviously I had to make a full auto swordfish. So now I can have a full auto and a semi-auto. So here we are. This is my full auto swordfish. Now, nothing fancy. All the good stuff. So obviously this has only 2 switches. The third switch, because of the way they did the interior here, does have like the select fire ability. You're not going to use that. If a kit was perfectly designed for this, everything would line up, but it doesn't. It does have screws so you can put your switches in. That way you can make sure that returns every single time. It's on a really good spring, so it usually does it on its own. And then as far as flywheels go and flywheel cages, I mean, this has a clear flywheel cage in it, although you'll never see it because of this beautiful paint job. But it has a clear flywheel cage, and it's running clear flywheels, and it's running Fang revamps that I still had in a bin. So this thing's pretty cool, but I really like it. This is where my top rail went, off of the blue strife you would have seen previously. And I really like this thing. So I had a really cool blaster, and obviously I wasn't going to paint the kit because this is a injection molded Chris Vector kit, but I needed a stock. And we all know I love the Lightning Storm style stock from Worker, or the original Lightning Storm stock. But I wanted something very different that would really make this stand out with this paint. So before we go any further, this was a black vinyl dye, as you can see black down here from the handle. A automotive gray metallic for the base, and then I did blue detailing for the Swordfish logo down here, the words Worker, and obviously yellow for the eye because it's gotta stand out. These are 3D printed side rails. They are not fully attached at the current moment, but they are just sitting there and waiting to be completed. But okay, now moving on to the stock, because what stock do you put on this to really make it stand out? Well, there's a world of 3D printing, and there's a world of 3D printed stocks. Now, you can say 3D printed stocks aren't great, they're flimsy, they kind of look weird, and I would normally agree with you until I found something really cool. Yeah, it's a crossbow stock. Isn't that awesome? A removable crossbow stock. So, this prints in 2 pieces. You can see the lines right here where it detaches. Now, Captain Slug, I believe, is the original one who did this. Someone, he 3D scanned a full crossbow. So you can print a full crossbow shell. But there was a lot going on and someone wanted just the stock for this, which is great. But in doing so, they also lengthened the stock, which puts it here, which is a little far for me, considering the lightning storm would have ended there, which is my ideal length, but I can live with that. And why? Because it's a crossbow stock. It does need its locating pin. It does have a screw port right here for one screw, and I will definitely be doing so because this weighs a lot. This stock weighs a lot. It is 75% infill, and of course I did the full blue detailing on the back, and there's really no good way to put these two halves together. Because they slide apart, you have to slide them together, and normally, if you were to do this on the full printable crossbow, all these points would have lag bolts through them. See the holes here. But because this is a stock, those don't really go anywhere. Like they're in here, but I have no hardware that I can find that's going to go all the way through here, and then go to nuts on this side, and then one on the bottom. It was not going to be possible for me to do. So there are metal pins through this. There's about 4 or 5 holes. Through every single one, there's a metal pin, and they are ground down. Before the shell and stock were painted, all that was done and ground down. But they're kind of sharp, and I was trying to think of a way to have it not jab me as I'm shouldering it, and if I pull it too close, and my cheek sits up here. So I still had some of my really old school Digicam wrap. So I went ahead and Digicammed over those, and it kind of looks messy, but in the end, I kind of like it, just considering it's actually comfortable, and I can actually use it. And I think altogether, it gives it a really nice look. Once again, once that's pinned on, it won't be moving anymore, but it is pretty comfortable with the foregrip, and being able to, move. It is really large with this on here, but what we're gonna do now is we are going to get FPS for you guys, because I am pretty curious. I'm gonna do one dart at a time, one dart in a mag, and we will see how it goes. I kind of like how 12 mags almost disappear in this, but here we go. Chrono, no barrel attachment, so I will be doing my best to line up. Full rev. 131. $131, almost 132. Well, we bounced off the inside at that at 51. But yeah, so this thing's really cool, and I do love the ability of it being full auto. Now, this is running on my same 850 as the last Strike was. That is not the battery that this will be keeping. This was designed motor-wise to run on my 1300, but I made a mistake with the shell clearance. There's a screw port right here for the interior mounting, so you can't remove it. But in doing so, that I don't know where it's supposed to go. So I'm going to be looking into a expanded battery door, because this already has the expanded door from Worker. As you can see, this is not the flat door, so it is meant to fit over all this when the wires aren't sticking out. But in the end, I will be looking for a new battery, maybe a 1300 that's a little smaller. That way I can actually use this and mess with it without risking messing up the 3 motors in this whole ordeal. So guys, that is my Worker Swordfish. with a freaking crossbow stock. And it's pretty good. It's pretty comfortable, pretty nice. And my quality on these Picatinny rail adapters, they are flawless. You can actually get up close and see them. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm doing and I'm messing with, because all these files are free on Thingiverse. Now obviously I know what that means. The files are free, the licensing, they're not licensed yet. So as long as these kind of things are still on there, I'm going to continue to make them. Same with the stocks, same with the triggers from the Strife, same with everything. So guys, thank you very much for watching my Swordfish overview, and hopefully I'll see you in an upcoming video. Not too sure what the next one would even be yet, but we'll get to that. Thank you guys very much, and as always, peace out, bros.